Hello and welcome everybody. Whether you're tuning into this live or whether you're coming into this a little bit later, hello, welcome. So, what we're doing today is there's this really interesting book that I picked up. So, I've looked at a lot of drawing books, and there's a lot of drawing books out there, books that teach you how to draw, and a lot of them you could spend a lot of time reading the theory and the ideas and the reasoning behind the lessons. But at the core of it, there's this book right here, The Ultimate Bargue Drawing Collection. So Charles Bargue, or Bargue, I think he's a French person. So if I had to pronounce his name correctly, I'd take a gander that's Bargue. So Charles Bargue. I could be wrong both ways, but anyway, he made this drawing lessons. He made these drawing lessons back in like the 19 mid 1800s, and a lot of well-known modern artists developed their drawing style from them, including Vincent van Gogh. And this is one of those books that has like there's literally no text in here. So there's no text. It's just, hey, dude or dudette, get straight to drawing. And that's what this book is about. So I find it really interesting because I've been through a lot of drawing books, and almost every drawing book I've ever been through that teaches drawing pretty much has lots of words, lots and lots of words. And what we're doing, just to be different for the sake of being different, and we're actually doing these with oil pastels. So I'm using oil pastels, a few different varieties of oil pastels to go through these. And the challenge with that is that oil pastels, as you can tell, oil pastels tend to be thicker than the typical pencil or pen line. So you have to work a little differently, but ultimately the expectation is that this helps to improve both drawing ability and oil pastel ability, although I'm sure that it's probably going to help me more with oil pastel, because there's a really big difference drawing with fine lines and things like that. But here you can see over here, that's not even really an excuse, because you can see some of these lines, they're actually pretty thick, pretty comparable to what I'm getting with my oil pastel lines. So, this is a fun little project that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be going through many of these. So let's see where we're at. We're probably on the next page here. I think we're on the next page. So we are on the next page, almost into these mouths and stuff. So let's throw our little baby wipe up, and let's get started, shall we? So if you're just tuning in, hello. I am quite the talker. I talk a lot on these live streams. If we had to name these live streams and give it a like a name that just makes fun of the stream, it would be called Guy Talks a Lot to Himself While He Draws. But anyway, here we go. So maybe I should name that one of my streams. Note to self, keep a note to self, name one of my streams, watch me talk to myself as I paint. The only reason why I do that, like, I would love to just like sit and draw and not say anything, but when I was streaming on TikTok, TikTok broke me, and basically got me to always talk during my live streams, because otherwise you basically get punished. You get violations, and you don't want your account that you spend a lot of time to grow, you don't want that to get banned. So of course I had to adapt or get banned. And let's see, 1 2 3 4 5. So one great thing about this drawing course is it teaches you to really use angles and learn to like measure and estimate angles. So you're constantly looking for just the right angle here. Let's see, that's about right there. So we're gonna go And a little closer. See, it's really hard to get really narrow lines. So that's can't be what your expectation is. But let's see, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna go up here and have a cross line right here. It's gonna be where our cross line goes. And honestly, I think this line's a bit high. So let's go ahead and add this right around here, actually. So we're gonna put it right around there. It's a bit, this one's a bit low, actually. So all this is about is just capturing the right line lengths, the right angles, and constantly working towards the right angles, the right lengths, and things like that. So let's go right here. This is going to touch the line. And then we're going to go around, not quite to the line. And here we go. We're going to cross over the line with this. This one line right around here. And that went a little too far, so probably should end right around there. Just make a little mental note. And constantly looking to measure angles and things like that. So that'll go about right there. We're going to get another line right around here. And let's go right here. And once we get up here, and let's go. So I can already see a lot of things wrong with this piece, but you know what? I can actually move some of this around. Some of this is actually quite flexible, but you know what? As we continue, we're just going to get better, and that's our goal, to just improve over time, not necessarily overnight. So here we go. One mistake I keep making is that I make this eye too thin. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. And once I actually get it colored in, it'll be a bit different, but that's the challenge when you work with oil pastel, when you're trying to do pencil exercises. But I do think that I come up with some creative ways to see, and that's part of the goal here. So let's go straight in with let's go with a different color here. Let's go with a pink eye. Let's give it some pink eyes. And this isn't part of the course yet. This drawing part. There is a part of the studies where you dive in and you start to do like serious shadow studying, or working with values, I should say, like shadows on a face and things like that, shadows and lights. But pretty much right now, just the overall figures and designs. So let's see how we want to do this. Let's make this purple. The interior of this eye right here is going to be purple. Give it like a dark color. Let's give this one some darker tones. And we're going to go with that, and we're going to go with some brown. So let me think where I want the browns. Definitely on the inside of the eye. We're going to go brown here. So working to find where my oil pastel starts. And that's that. We're going to have a nice crease right here. And let's go with, since we got this brown, we're going to use a lighter brown. Let's go with a lighter brown around this area of the lower eye, just assuming that this is the bottom side of the eye, this is the upper side of the eye. So we're going to get a little bit of some visual, because the light's going to rest on it, so I'm just using a lighter shade here. Actually, this could probably be light too. But there needs to be some separation, I believe. At this point, I'm a bit guesstimating as to where certain parts of the eye are going to be dark. So we'll figure that out. So this looks like the eyelid. So the eyelid's going to be a little lighter. We're going to go light on the eyelid. Let's go right here. I mean low value on the eyelid. So like a lighter value color. And this needs to extend the eye a bit. I totally forgot what color I even used for the eye. One of these purples. Let's try to find the right purple. Here we go. I think this is it, right? No, that's not it. What color did I just use? What color did I use for the eye? Let's just guess it was this one. And we're gonna go in order to go underneath, since this is where the eye, under the eye starts, we're just gonna go dark here. And this looks like the area around the nose, so let's just darken this in. Darker shadow, space. Let's see if we can highlight this eye by throwing a little bit of a glow. So we're going to throw a little bit of a green glow. Let's throw some green glow. Always good to add a little sparkle. There we go. And let's do another eye down here. We're going to fill this corner with another one. Only have 2 more eyes left on this page. So let's figure this out. We're going to go half and half. And then this is going to go like so. Let's go like this. I'm gonna go bring this pretty much almost horizontally, so I want to see where the lines meet. This line meets almost right there. Actually, this is the eyelid line. So maybe this should be a little bit further out. And this needs to be like right here. And then we're going to bring this down just a little bit, just barely past this piece. And there we go. So bring another eyelid down. This goes straight up, so we need a bit over here. That's where we want this eye to end. Comes about halfway. That's about right. And then here we go. Let's see what color we want to use for this. Let's go for a pink eye. Oh yeah, I was going for pink on the last one, but that didn't quite work out the way I wanted. So I'm going for a different shade of pink. Call this my Pepto-Bismol pink. And there we go. One good thing about oil pastels is you can carve a little bit. With the right oil pastels, you could carve away at what you're looking to work with. And here we go. So we're gonna go blue around the edges. And this looks like the bottom of the eyelid. So let's say the light was coming from, you know, straight on. I think the lights would be right around here. The lights on the eyelid. Let's try it a different way. This is the tip of the forehead. That's gonna be the bottom of the eye. And then the top, just go through the center here. And we're gonna go right straight into this section. I'm actually making up the light a little bit. I don't know exactly how the light would hit, so I'm making this part up, which most of this is not included in the drawing lesson in Charles Bargue's course, but you can make it up a little bit, right? You go, okay, where's the light coming down from? Okay, it's coming up from, you know, the top or left or whatever, and then from there you just work and figure it out, and you know, over time you just decide whether you're right or not. You just practice, and then so some of these, you know, are going to look way better than others, but the idea is to get the eye to figure out some of the major areas of the eyes. So I think I have space for one more right here, and that's what we're going to go for. All right, so we're going to start right here at the top. We're going to go down. And then this is going to be even longer one, maybe 50% longer. So 1, 2. Let's go like right about here, where it come down a little bit in. And there we go. So this should be right around there. There's a real subtle angle here that I'm just not getting, so I'm trying to push that a little better. And here we go. So this will be about halfway, and it's going to match this angle right here. It's almost like an extension of this one. Let's go down with this. And there we have it. So bring this out a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Bring this angle downwards. Up a bit. Down a bit. And keep this straight. Just a subtle shift. Come down right about there. And it's so easy to get caught up in how different all these different lines, and you get like overwhelmed as you're starting, because you start to think, oh, you know, how my lines aren't looking exactly like it. But then, you know, once you get into it, once you start drawing them, it's like magic. Art is like, or drawing is like magic, you know. Things just start to come together. If you give it time, you give it practice and attention, things will come together. It's almost impossible for them not to. So here we go. We got this eye right here. Let's go with I'm going to go with the yellow eye. We haven't done a yellow eye yet on this page. So let's go with a yellow eye. And then there's going to be a pink eyelid here. So we're actually going to use some more realistic colors and go with like a pink flesh tone eyelid. And here's the oil pastel, except it is off. The paper is off, so it feels a little sticky. And that could be somewhat annoying. depending on how you feel about different textures and stuff. But it's definitely a texture to get used to. So we're going to go with this yellow right here. It's like an orange yellow. And that would be the bottom of the eyelid, or the eyelid itself. So let's go with that, and then let's go with, oh, this also needs to be pink around the eyelid right here. So we're gonna go right here. Got this pink. Let's go around the eyelid again, right around this area. And if we want to create separation, we're going to use a different shade of this. I'm going to do a different orange here. And let's just darken this with a red. Nice, deep, powerful red. And let's experiment with these colors a bit, shall we? So let's not just like, you know, end it where it is. Let's try to add some greens. Push some greens into these areas. I think the best thing about oil pastel is when you can start to blend different colors together and you start to add character that way. So let's go with this yellow. Go with one of these hot pinks around the bottom here. And I got to remember that you can't really put hard pastel on top of the softer pastels. So let's go with some of this blue, this light blue here. Give it a little glow around the eye, around this top of the eye here. And let's go into this, add a variety of color. Always good to just, maybe not always, it depends on what you're doing, right? But I love to just work with color. So a couple of different things that we've done here. We finished a lot of the faces. Time to reorganize my sticks. And let's see, so there we go. Okay, so we're gonna clean off my hands real quick and let's talk about some of these. Let's have a little look at some of these pieces and what's going on. So if you're just tuning in, here's a little refresher, a little update. So what I'm working on right now is doing this Charles Bargue drawing course, but with oil pastel. And that's the challenge we have as the artist here, is getting the oil pastel to look close enough like the pencil work. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these eyes and see if they match up. So right here we have some of our eyes. You can tell that this top eye right here, this is not that eye. This side is probably this one right here. You tell the eye shape is a little off. But the length of the eye is pretty accurate. A little too much space in the top there, but that's okay. Let's see. We got another eye down here. Oh, did I forget the nose? No, I didn't. That's this one. This face down here. Let's see how this looks. So we could have done more with the cheekbone that kind of juts out the eye, the part of the eye. And the eye size is probably pretty decent. I think some of the colors messes this up a little bit, but I think overall this looks pretty all right. Of course, practice continues to create success. So we're going to take a quick water break, and I'll be right back here in a moment. Excuse me. So we're moving on to faces, and I don't know exactly how I'll do with these because the line width is significantly thicker with these, so the oil pastels are going to create some issues, but we'll see how it goes. We're just going to make it work. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to make this vertical. Maybe not, because it's hard to see the top of it. For the sake of those of you viewing, I'm going to keep this pretty much horizontal, even though that's not how it's done here. And so this is kind of cool. What it does is it gives each like the technical version, and then it gives you the lifelike version. So these are just kind of like sketchy lines, and then you meet the real actual version of the line work. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and start with one of our noses here. We're going to start right over here. It's going to get way too thick, but we'll figure it out from here. This basically covers the area of the nose already. So we're just going to work with this. Let's see. So just following the lines piece by piece, you can probably see some of the shapes or the forms that I'm actually drawing out here. And some of what I'm adapting to is the line width of our pastel. This angle is probably a little too much, but as long as we notice it. And another one of these things is that it helps, another one of the benefits of working with the Charles Bargue course, is that its intent is also to help you see mistakes, like what you're getting wrong. And that can be really helpful because then, you can figure out yourself on the fly, hey, this is what I need to do to fix this area that's, not really working out for me. And that's one of the problems with a lot of drawing courses is there's like so much text. They spend so much time like teaching with text that you get lost and can't really do the do the other stuff. And let's just use flat colors for the faces. We're going to use a flat color here. We're going to go... Actually, the lips probably need a different color, but I'm just going to bring some flat colors in here. And we're not going to spend too much time shading as much as we did the... as much as we did the other part. I really just want to keep some of these faces. And now what we can do is I wonder if this is trying to tell me like, hey, this is how you sketch it. Now do another one with the nice lines. I'm wondering if that's what it's trying to tell me to do, or whether I should just or is it telling me to just curve these lines out a bit? And that's what I should be doing. So we're going to try white. And fortunately, our white can push these pieces. So this will round out. We're going to round out this space right here. We're going to round out this space. And come around. And then we're going to round out around here. Round it out, round it out. And add some curvature to the front of the lip. Let's actually give it a little color here. Give this lip a little color. So as we work, I'll continue to work and improve some of the color choices here. So, yellow and the black definitely creates some issues, but it also adds some character to it, so it's not too bad. So I was working on rounding some of these details out. And then let's go ahead and continue rounding that part out right here. We're just gonna round it out, round it out. So rounding out some of these forms. That lip comes up a little too high. Here we go. So This is the first face. First face. Let me see if you can see that better. There we go. So we started with some angular lines, and then we just carved with our oil pastel to curve them a bit. This needs a little bit more rounding, so we're going to round this out a little bit more. And I think as we try new colors, things will continually improve. So let's do the next one. We're gonna do it right next door. So we're gonna go first piece. 1, 2, 3. A little bit less angled, a little bit longer. And then we're gonna go a little bit longer. Hard to just push this edge to the end. So it's gonna be just a little longer than that. Little nostril in between there. And here we go. Let's go with a line. Nice fine angle like that. It might be a little long, so we're gonna come in a bit more and draw another angle about the same length. It's just so nice when you can start to see the parts, all the different pieces start to form. So this needs to be in more. So we're going to start this line here. There's a lot of helpful lines just to see how the face curves. So this needs to be a smooth, steady curve from this nostril. So this nostril should probably be like right here. A nice steady curve, which is about right. And then oh, and it should be a bit bigger, which is just right. Okay, cool. So let's create a base color here. We're going to go with a base color of a light green. I'm going to do a base color of a light green like we did the last one. And here we go. So we're actually going to color this part in. Leave some of these other lines for design purposes. And here we go. So here we go. Got the green. We got some of these details. And now we're just going to fine tune it with we're going to fine tune it. So I'm going to make this, I want to darken this, create the nostril here. And we're going to fine tune this with a light blue. Let's do that. So if you're just tuning in, hello and welcome. What we're doing right now is we're going through the Charles Bargue drawing course. And basically what I'm doing right now is pretty much just like noses and the side views of the face. And part of this involves carving parts out, which means I need a brighter color here. So we're going to be carving out some of this space. Let's go like that. And then we're going to round this part out. And one thing I'm constantly doing is I'm thinking, how can this part be better? How can this look nicer? Just rounding out these shapes here, rounding them out. This curve needs to be a bit deeper. Let's see, maybe we find a better color to tie this all together. I actually like this one more than this one. And what I'm doing with these lines is just bringing the cheeks forward, the parts of this, the cheek. I think this is what this is suggesting, is that the cheek is over here. We're going to use this white and we're going to carve away some of this lip here. Let's bring it back. We got to bring back some of it. So let's do that. Let's bring back some of this lip. Be rounded and curved down. So there's going to be a subtle one right there. Another subtle piece right here. And there we have that. So that's face number 2. Maybe what I should also do is to draw a little sketch of the one below it, or of the ones next to it. So if I do little sketches, so I can see if I'm in the right ballpark of what needs to be created. So if you're just tuning in, there's a great book that I'm using, but I'm doing an oil pastel. It's called the Ultimate Bargue. I think I'm pretty sure he's French, so I'm pretty sure that's pronounced Bargue. So Charles Bargue. Now it's a drawing course, but you know, I always want to do things differently. That's as much of an Achilles heel as it is possibly a blessing or whatever. And so I decided to do it with oil pastels, which the challenge with this is that the lines are much thicker. So you have to deal with certain things, such as a thicker line. Ah, yeah, there we go. So getting some of the subtle lines. Get the nostril. Nostril right there. And this right here is just a little check-in to see how it's coming along, right? So whether I can actually capture this without these types of guidelines. So I might not do every single one like this, but I think it's at least, no, maybe I will. I'm hesitating to do it because my pastels are so much thicker, but I think for the sake of these exercises, it's worthwhile to see where you're at and see what you need to improve and all of that. So let's go ahead in the second one, and we're gonna go the lines a little bit longer. I don't know the exact view that this is going for. It's hard to tell. I think it's rotated to the side a bit more. I think that's what they're going for. Or it's rotating more and more to the side or something. So let's go like so. And we're gonna go now the only problem is this book does a great job of teaching you how to see what these certain tastes is a very specific way of seeing. It's the classical classical designs here, right? Because we're working with I think their main source of design is statues. So, you know, this is a very specific style that that they're teaching in this book. So I've got the lip right there, and this lip's gonna come out. So that's probably a little too far because this needs to come like down like that. So we're gonna bring this in a bit. Maybe bring it down lower and then come down. Honestly, I would say that this is probably one of my favorite drawing books so far as learning how to draw, because other books, you can really get lost on like theory, right? Other books start telling you like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. This is, you know, this is why this, you got to draw like this, or this is what this artist does. So you have all these like exercise ideas, but there's so much discussion that you somewhat miss out on. You know, you could get lost in the drawing, or get lost and not do the drawing, I should say. Not getting lost in the drawing. And there we go. I think we're fairly close, right? So these are the first two heads up here, first two parts of the face. So getting both the line work version as well as the sketched version with like flat lines and angles, and then the smoothed out version. So this is going to be using a lot of paper, but we'll get through it. Now, let's see. What do we want to do our next color with? What are we going to do our next head with? How about... What's going on here? Why do I have an extra color? Oh, here we go. So let's do this with a... We just did black. We did pink. Let's go with a green. Shall we? So we're going to go with a green up here. And we're going to do this head on the left. So not this one, but this one on the left here. Actually, I could pull this over to the side and you could see what I'm doing this time, because we're on a row where you can see what I'm doing. So fortunately, we're going to be working where you can see. All right, so here we go. Going for this nose, just looking at these angles and lines. I think that's the most helpful thing, is just looking at the angles and lines. So we're going to go for... Oh, see, what happened was I drew with the wrong side of the pastel. I wanted like the tip, but, you know, happy accidents yield happy results. I think the line needs to be just a tad bigger. And we're going to go just... thing like that. See, this is a long line, so we're going to go a long line there. Almost double the size of that. And we can actually even reduce it if we want, just by adding that piece. And let's go down here to add this cheek. And somewhere halfway, a little bit more than halfway, we're going to bring down this line right here. And then bring down a little lip. Just barely comes out. I want to do more, but I got to stop myself. And then here we go. So we're going to come around and it's going to go angled. And we're going to bring even another lip. And we're going to go... See, it's really hard with these oil pastels, but I think that's the fun in the challenge. Personal challenge is to just get more acquainted with these tools. And not their limitations, but like, you know, just being familiar with them. Challenging yourself with another way of doing things. So I feel like I got the sizes pretty accurate. So let's draw a line from here to here. So let's see, this is gonna come like so. Yeah, that's okay. This needs to come out just right. Maybe a little bit of a more downward angle. Slightly longer. We're gonna, this line needs to be longer. And then we're gonna go push this out a bit further. I think that's better. And then it's gonna come around just past those pieces. So I guess you can't see the nostrils on this one, which is great because nostrils are such a pain to do, especially these really thin nostrils with these oil pastels. So let's see, what color do we want to do? Let's go purple on green. And we're going to go just push these out. Start with like a base color, just pushing it out a bit, because then at some point we're going to round this out. We're definitely going to round it out. I want to add the color here. Just a little bit of color around the lips. Get some of the shapes right here. Get some color around here. And there we have that. So let's tighten this up. What kind of lips would a purple person have? What kind of lips would a purple person have? A purple person, if skin is red, yellow, it would basically be, if it's the opposite, red, yellow, pink, a lighter shade of purple, I guess. Or maybe a bluer shade of purple. Yeah, let's go for a bluer. Let's go with the bluer lip. So I'm gonna go some blue lips here. We're not really gonna see the top lip. We're just gonna see the bottom lip. And then we're going to see an outline of the top lip. And then I think what we're going to do with the rest of the skin is, let's go for a lightened blue. Shall we? So here we go. We're gonna lighten this up just to create some shape around it. Carve around this purple. Carve the nose out a bit. Just using our more dense oil pastels to carve our shape better. And here we go. We need something to make these lips pop a little better. So I want to throw a little bit of yellow on top of it. See if we could do that. Throw in a little yellow. There we go. And those of you just tuning in, what we're working on is, so this is a drawing course, technically, that you do pencil with. It's a very well-known drawing course that's been around for like 100-something years. But because times have changed, I've decided that I'm going to do the drawings with pencil or oil pastel instead of pencil. Oh, whoops, that should not be that color because it's got to match the face. So I've decided to do it with oil pastel instead of pencil, just to change things up, give things a little bit more excitement here, so that things don't always look the same. You know, I just learned yesterday that Vincent van Gogh actually used this, and it's funny because when I looked through this, you know, I studied a lot of Vincent van Gogh's drawings, and when I finally looked through this, I can see that some of the drawings that are credited to Vincent that he did in his letters were actually from this book. How crazy is that, huh? I guess most people probably won't find it too crazy, but I find it crazy. So there's the story. But here we go. Let's also sketch a version of this face without the without the sketchy lines, and more of like just the straightforward, hey, this is the face right here. So we're gonna go like that, and then from the nose we're gonna curve around somewhere around a little bit halfway and curve around. So halfway and then curve around for the part of the lip and then another lip. Ah, that's the secret. You gotta know how to curve the lip around. Okay, that's a little too far, but that's all right. Let's go here. And this lip's gonna curve down. And then we're gonna get another lip right here, just behind this piece. And even with oil pastels, I think we're doing okay as far as capturing the shapes. It's got to be a little slower. Take a bit more time. So anyway, that one's that one. And I really just love the way these oil pastels are coming out. You could really capture a variety of textures and looks and just overall colorfulness that gets you very curious as to, oh, what is that? I really like this one. There's just something about this black, yellow, and red that just kind of captures your attention. And I'm hoping that I can do that later. But what colors go better than what colors are more interesting than black and red? I personally think those are two of the most interesting colors when combined. Black, but there's black, red, white, yellow here. It gives you like this smoky kind of feel. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to repeat that with different colors. So we'll see. I do kind of like this with this blue. It's kind of like a blue oceany vibe that we got going on here. But let's continue on, and we shall. This is way too much of a corner. So just softening that. And these are just quick sketches, just to see if I can, get the general idea of the rounded faces. Because, you got these faces. You can see all the corners and all the edges that are used in a design line. So the whole point is to do the two of these, the design and then the overall, just the sketch itself. And the reason why I do this is I look to soften corners with this baby. So the whole idea is to soften the corners differently. All right, here we go. We'll go up and then around. Let's see if we can carve out some of the face a little better here. Carve out the face right there. Give it a more dynamic shape. And I think the nose needs a little bit more color here. A little bit more of a different variation. Ah, there we go. That's a little better, right? You can see it just a tad bit better, the forms, the shapes, and everything. And there, we've got that. So let's see what's next. Shall we? This is a great book so far. I'm going to take a lot of time. I guess I take a lot of time with these. One day I'll finish all these pages. But oh look, they kind of take away the hand holding. At some point they get rid of the hand holding. And you basically just work through every single piece yourself, I guess. Let's look at that. Okay. All right. Very cool. Let's go with another section. We're going to go with brown to create this next one. So we're on this face. So those lines are parallel lines is what this drawing is saying. Let's go small baby line. Another bigger baby line. And then there we go. This nose looks a little too big, so we're going to tighten this up, and we're going to bring it in right around here. Now, what's fortunate about doing this, do it with oil pastels, actually I can just like color this in and get the right design. So there's some benefits as well as some challenges. But at the end of the day, we adapt and we learn and we improve, And that's what we aim to do, is adapt, learn, improve. So here we go. This needs to go straight up and down. So we're going to go like so. So it's still a bit confusing here, but still a bit confusing as in still working on getting some of these shapes right and the form. And this line comes down through here. I'm really not sure exactly what this line's saying. I think that's the front of the face. So the front of the face, the round points need to match up. So if this is the round point, and that needs to match up with this fine point right here, is what this is saying. So there we go. Here, we'll bring this down. And a little piece of the lip right there. And then bring this across the face here. So this is the front of the face right there. Okay, that makes sense. Ah, yes, the chin goes around and behind the head. Very cool. All right. So now that we've got this part could probably be a little longer. That's okay. So now that we've got that part, let's go ahead and take another color and we're gonna push this out. So earlier what I did with this, I'm trying to match this concept right here. So I took a light color on top of a darker color. And basically I just drew around it. You know what? I want to use, let's just stick with this blue. Here we go. We're going to go into here. Bring some color there. Bring some more color there. What colors do we want to make these lips? Let's make these lips a nice orange. Let's go with an orange on the lips here. So these lips are definitely going to show. And then just the very, very tip of these lips are going to show. Oh, you know what I think is they disappear here, so this isn't totally accurate. I gotta definitely work with some of these lips a little better, but I think what's going on here is that, you know, lips pretty much disappear after a certain point, but it's not exactly always perfect. So I'm guessing what this is trying to say is subtly, you don't necessarily need to draw this specific part of the lip as the end of it. So this is just going around the face with this blue. Good old Dolphins colors. I don't know if anyone's Dolphins fan, but here we go. So get this orange. Got this orange. So let's see, how do we tighten this up? Let's go in with a green. So we're going to go in with this green here. Just going to give it some roundness. Give it some roundness, some curvature. And bringing the color into here. Let's curve this area of the and this lip needs to be tightened up a bit, so that's what I'm getting wrong. So let's go ahead and tighten that up. What would help to blend in orange, push orange back? Let's use some of this blue. We need to push these lips in a bit. And that's why it looks weird. So here we go. We use our oil pastel to carve around and get a better defined shape of what we're looking for. And there we go. One great helpful thing about oil pastels, you can hide some of your mistakes. So there's something that's bothering me, and it's the way this lip looks, and I'm trying to figure it out. So this lip kind of curves away. This lip has no curve down here, so we got to curve that. And let's create a bit of a shadow here. So we're gonna go a little bit of shadow, and then we're gonna go have the lip come around. Get in with these nostrils, nice. And let's get around the edge of this nostril here. There we go, something a little different. And let's see if we've got this as far as the overall sketch goes. So let's try the sketch version. As you could tell, this face is more reminiscent of this piece right here. And let's do the sketch. So we're gonna go with a nose. Let's go ahead and create this rounded shape. Actually, let's do this lip first, right? We should do this lip. Bring that in. There's a curve. There we go. Nice subtle curve. Bring that around. We're going to bring the lip right there. A couple lip shapes. Need another piece right there. And then this part's a little too long, but I think it's good. Still don't think it's good. And then this curves around. And there we have that. So this is the nose. And this is one version of the face. So we're actually going to take a break now, but let me just share a little bit for those of you tuning in, wondering what's going on here. A little bit of craziness. So there's this drawing course. It's a great drawing course that teaches you how to draw without words. Literally, there's not a single word in here. You just kind of get an idea of what to do. That's how intuitive it is. It's great to have a very intuitive way of learning. This is originally a book by Charles Bargue, and I think this is a reprint of his book by some company. I don't know. But basically, all you need to do is look up Charles Bargue, last name Bargue, and he has a book from the 1800s that teaches how to draw. Now, of course, it's a classical style, so it is stylized, but you know, you can always change things up whenever you're ready. And what I'm doing is, instead of using pencils, I use oil pastels. So I have the challenge of working with a thicker point, you know, because when you're drawing, you have either a thin point or a thick point, and just exploring different color varieties, like up here. So, you know, it's nice to be able to play with oil pastel colors because they're very interesting. And with that, you know, you can pretty much see exactly what I'm doing, basically just copying all of these studies piece by piece. So this could take a year, this could take 5 years, I don't know, because I'm doing this all with oil pastel, but somewhere along the way we shall improve the way we do things and make our art more interesting, more beautiful, more creative, and capture people's attentions. So with that, those of you that tuned in, thanks. We're going to take a little break right now, and we'll come back in a bit, but have a great day.